Hi, this is Joe Kwan, the Connection Counselor. What's the one skill that most professionals will admit they should be doing more of and is really beneficial and impactful for their career, but they really don't enjoy doing it and find it kind of painful and unnatural? Well, if you're like most people and if you're like me, that would be networking. And it doesn't have to be that way. So, on today's episode, we're going to talk about why it can be so uncomfortable and difficult, and one small change we can do instead to get much better results. So, what happens? You're at a conference and or at a meeting, and you are sitting next to someone and you're talking to them and you're trying to do the networking thing, and it just doesn't feel natural, right? Their guard is up and it just feels forced, and you don't really make a connection. And sometimes it happens the opposite way as well. Sometimes someone's talking to you and trying to connect with you, and you just feel a little bit suspicious. Maybe you feel like they're trying to use you or get something out of you, and you're not quite sure what their motives are. And it can just all around make for a very unpleasant and kind of painful experience. Well, there's a reason why this is happening, and this happened to me quite often earlier in my career. And I didn't realize that there was a way I was thinking about networking, which was really contributing to both the way I was perceived and the way I was perceiving others in terms of networking. Now, a lot of us, when we think of networking, we almost think of it as like a lasso, right? We're looking for people who we can connect with, who can help us, and we're trying to almost like lasso them and create a connection that we can pull them close to us and rely on them later. And often we get very tactical about this. There's a specific person that we say, oh, I have to meet this person, and they make it to your list. And then you very kind of strategically go after them, and it feels very forced. And a lot of times people can feel that as well, and they can feel that presence and that urgency or that need you have, and it generally pushes people away. So this whole idea of networking being transactional, almost as if you're just trying to sort of lasso someone and capture them, can actually contribute to this negative impact. Well, if lassoing is not a great approach, what is a better metaphor or way to think about networking? The way I like to think about networking and explain it to people is it's more like creating a spider web. So what you want to think about is when you're creating a spider web, you are one point on the web and the other person is one point on the web, and it's making a strand. And you're making all sorts of strands, and one strand is not more important than the other, right? So there's no particular person that is necessarily the person you have to meet, because you don't know where that next opportunity, where that next conversation is going to lead. Your sole goal is to just make a meaningful connection, right? Be memorable, have a laugh together, generate or find some sort of similarities that resonate with you, and just have a good conversation and make a connection. Now, like a spider web, each connection, each strand doesn't seem that important and almost doesn't seem like it's going to do much. But what happens is, as you're networking, as you continue to network, it creates additional strands. So now you have a whole bunch of strands all connected to each other. And the great thing about this metaphor is it's not just a connection between you and them. It also extends to other people you're connected with in the network, as well as other people they are connected with. Now, why is this important, and why is this even better than the lasso connection? Let's say even the lasso is effective. Well, imagine you are a spider and you're sitting on the web, and your prey lands on the web. How do you know that there's something important going on? You feel it coming through the spider web. You feel the vibration. Now, You may not be anywhere near where the prey has landed or the opportunity has arrived. You may not even be able to physically see it. However, through the help of others, you can sense it and you will become aware of an additional opportunity. And that's kind of the way networks work. So it's not specific. You're not getting anything out of anyone for a particular conversation. You're just making a connection. And that connection may never be used for anything in the future, but that's not really the point. The point is to just make connections, to be of value, and it kind of works both ways, because there may be opportunities where you become aware of something that, the person that you're networking with could use, and they're not aware of it themselves, but you're able to share that with them and kind of be a valuable part of their network. So when we think about networking this way, a couple things happen. One, it takes all the stress and the kind of desperation or like got that negative energy of like, I gotta meet this person, I gotta make a good impression. It just entirely takes all of that off the table, and you're just relaxed. You're just trying to make a connection. You may have some way to do business or chat again in the future, or you may not, but that's not really the point. That's not what matters to you. You're just creating another connection. And the second thing it does is it really creates an expansive mind of additional opportunities, right? Even if the person that you're talking to, let's say they're in a role or in an industry that has nothing to do seemingly with what you're interested in or what you need help with, they may have other connections that you can't even foresee that may come into play in the future. So the spiderweb metaphor is a really great way to relax, to think more expansively about your networking, and to just be able to enjoy it and not feel like, oh, I have to collect a certain amount of business cards, or oh, I have to impress an additional individual. And by doing this, you can show additional executive presence and expand your network. Well, my name is Joe Kwan, the Connection Counselor. Thanks for attending this session of Executive Tune-Up. If you would like to discuss further about networking or any other leadership guidance, would love to talk to you and discuss and see if there are ways that we can work together on it. Well, thanks for coming to Executive Tune-Up. Remember, to do your best, you have to be at your best. So tune in to tune up.